Okay, time for a new video, and whether you are somebody new to my channel or you are returning to my channel to watch this video, it is greatly appreciated. As always, I'm filming this video in one go, therefore I apologise in advance if I stumble over my words going forwards, and indeed if the quality of this video is fairly poor as well. If there's any lag, anything like that at all, sadly it cannot be helped, and hopefully it is not too much of an issue for you. This is yet another Eurovision 2021 related video here on my channel, and tomorrow night, at the time of recording this video, the first semi-final of the Eurovision Song Contest 2021 will take place at the Ahoy in Rotterdam in the Netherlands. 16 acts from 16 nations will compete for 10 slots in the grand final, and those 10 qualifiers will be determined thanks to jury marks from all of those nations plus 3 of the automatic qualifiers, and indeed a public vote. The public will vote tomorrow. Meanwhile, the juries will vote this evening in the jury semi-final. So 50% of the points will be determined before we, that's us Eurovision fans, even watch the live broadcast tomorrow. In this video, I'm going to go through all of the songs again, give you my brief thoughts. I should say there is a blog post up now, links in the description as always to my other social media pages, so if you want to read my thoughts, you can do so. There'll be more blog posts throughout the week and plenty more videos, all being well. At the end of this video, I'll give you my final prediction for the semi-final one results. Now, this is the third time I'm trying to film this video, so if I talk quickly, I do apologise. I'm going to get straight into it. Song 1 tomorrow night at the Ahoy is Discotheque by The Roop for Lithuania. This was the extremely convincing winner of the Lithuanian national selection back at the start of the year. The Roop would have been in Rotterdam last year with On Fire. If you ask me, Discotheque is a slightly better song. It still feels fresh, it still feels modern to me. I haven't become bored of the performance at all. Maybe some of the Eurovision fans have. Let's not forget, tomorrow night a lot of people will be seeing this performance for the very first time. I think they'll find it quirky, interesting, and Lithuania has a bit of a diaspora vote. Even so, this is the sort of song that I think people will gravitate towards anyway and dish out a few points. It's an all-male group, although we do have a woman on stage. The yellow outfits remain, the purple lighting remains. We've got that disorientating checkerboard pattern on the backdrop too. The choreography, it's quite simple, but it's really effective. It's a great opener to the semi-final. It is not often that we can say Lithuania is a sure qualifier. This year, I'm thinking that they will progress. It might be our winner. I doubt it, but you never know. Some countries might cancel each other out in the results, and then Lithuania might just sneak in. We just don't know. Anyway, Song 2, Slovenia, Amen, Anna Soklic. Now, Slovenia has a bit of a patchy record when it comes to Eurovision over the past few years. Qualify one year, miss out the next, so on and so forth. This year, it's looking like it might be an NQ for Anna. Great vocals. Amen is a better song than what she had last year. Voda was just a bit too forgettable. This has something a little extra about it. She's alone on stage, I believe, which is completely fine because she can handle this song, sings it so well, will nail it tomorrow. She's wearing that sort of white dress meets cape outfit. At one point she's on the runway, there's this explosion before the final chorus. Really, this is all quite predictable though. And as much as there might be some jury love, the public might be disinterested. We wait and see. I'll be saying that a lot. Song 3, Russia, Russian Woman by Manisha. Yeah. Everybody complaining about Little Big not being involved. Well, that's soon been brushed aside because this is now, I think, the 10th or 11th favourite to win. Russia looking very likely to progress, do very well in the final. There's a surprise. This song, it's not one of my favourites, but I can really appreciate it for what it is. We've got lyrics in Russian, which has to be appreciated absolutely. Manisha is a very confident, great performer on stage. Doesn't seem fazed at all by how big the venue is. And, I mean, performing in front of millions of people. She's got her dancers, her backing singers on stage with her in that sort of square formation. It's a little bit similar to how it was at the national final, but obviously on a much grander scale. We've got traditional images on the backdrop and then sort of empowering quotes as well, if that's the right term to use. Be grateful, be proud, things like that. She comes onto stage in this enormous dress, which is made up of fabric from all corners of Russia, which is a lovely touch. And then she steps out from it, the dress stays on stage, and she's then wearing a sort of red worker's outfit. There's this very powerful moment, which I haven't seen yet, where she turns to the LED screen and she sort of chants at images of Russian women. It's a very, very powerful track, as I keep saying. and it's likely to do very well. Could be our winner. Some people are saying that. I'm not so sure. I've put here on my blog post, there's flames around the stage too. All in all, Mandija will no doubt make it through, though jury support might be a little poor. They might find the song quite jarring. I don't know. Anyway, song 4, Sweden, voices by Tusse. Great young singer, originally from Africa. His outfit is very similar to how it was at Melfest, although his arms are a bit more exposed. I know that he's had some issues with his voice over the past few weeks, but I think he's getting back to full fitness. In the rehearsal, which I believe is still ongoing as I'm filming this, apparently his vocals were the best they've been since he's been in the Netherlands. We've got this sort of watery effect on the backdrop. He's got dancers. This is a very stirring, rousing mid-tempo number I've put here. But an iffy second rehearsal has seen some Eurovision fans suggest the Swedes could be on course for a very rare, disappointing result this year. Could this really be a non-qualifier? I highly doubt it. You just never know. I'm still expecting tons of jury points for this, but you never know. In the final, we could have an in grosso situation similar to 2018, where Tusse does extremely well with the juries, and then in the public half of the results he gets 20 or 30. That would be an embarrassment, it has to be said, and I'm sure he'd feel awful about it. That could happen, it really could. The song is fine, it's playing it safe though, and it has to be said, Sweden I think do need to start taking a few more risks. Maybe next year see if Jon Henrik Fjällgren's available, you know what I mean? Then we'd get a song in Swedish at least. But yeah, what else is there to say? He's a very good performer, brimming with confidence, it has to be said. But the rehearsal the other day, the lights sort of drowned him out. We couldn't even see him. And it was all a bit bland, really. I don't think this stands out from the field whatsoever, but it's an alright song. Song 5, Australia, Montaigne, Technicolor. I preferred her entry last year, but this is still good. It's very different. It's a bit risky. I'm not sure it's going to pay off. It's in this hyper-pop style. Very Marina and the Diamonds. It also makes me think of Lorde for some reason, even though Lorde's music is a lot more low-key and chilled out on the whole. Montaigne's a great performer, great voice. She's got an album in the works. She's not in Rotterdam, as I just said, so she performed in this studio a couple of weeks ago. We've got lots of colourful lights, which fits in with the title of the song. She's got dancers. She's in a black outfit. She's got colourful hair. And I'm sure this is a very strange experience for her because she is not there to sort of celebrate with all of the other artists and be immersed in that Eurovision bubble. I've got here, the song is a hyperpop style track with a throbbing beat and certainly unlike anything else this year. However, I haven't seen too many people get behind Technicolor, and although it could not be helped, without performing on that Ahoy stage, Australia may sit out the grand final for the first time this year. It's a tough semi-final, it's a bit of a bloodbath. So if Australia go through, it really is a tremendous result. I'm not sure it will, though. A great shame. Moving on. If anything, I don't think it's a disgrace if Australia miss out, because this year's a bit of a write-off for their delegation almost, perhaps. They might just be thinking, look, if we go through, great. If we don't, it's okay. We'll come back next year even stronger. And remember, Damien might be involved. Moving on, song 6, North Macedonia, Here I Stand, Vasil. Really likeable guy, smashing voice, vastly experienced. However, this song, it has to be said, is very cheesy. In the rehearsal clip, he's in his sort of black suit. We have this ball of light, this ball of energy almost, emerge on his microphone stand, and it gets bigger, and then there are roots coming from it, sort of spreading across his chest. It's all a bit bland. I use that word again, but it's really true. Unless there is, and I've put here, a staggering amount of jury points and an enormous amount from the voting public too. In a tough lineup, North Macedonia may end up totally forgotten about. I think that's looking very likely, but I don't think he'll be disgraced either, because you can't fault his voice. It really is very good. Song 7, Ireland, Leslie Roy, Maps. Last year, Leslie Roy had this sort of throwback mid-2000s pop number, Story of My Life, which I really liked. This is a bit more of a mature pop effort. Maps is great. When the song was released, people were really excited about Ireland's chances, but since the rehearsals, Ireland's chances have gone tumbling down, it has to be said. The staging is ambitious but actually simply executed. We have seen the riffling pages of 2 books and cut out images of houses on stage in the rehearsal footage. And while this looks good, one could argue that this all seems a bit much. I agree with my own comments there. I agree. This could be a lot simpler. They're trying to make it stand out a lot in this semi-final, but I'm not sure it really does. We need to see the whole thing. Maybe the whole thing will look really tremendous. Leslie's vocals also need to be a little bit better. Very hard to say how well this will do. I think it might just come down to the fact that Ireland doesn't have a great qualification record, and maybe people will just prefer other performances. It's as simple as that. Going to need to do extremely well, perhaps in the public half of the results more than the jury half. Song 8, Cyprus, El Diablo, Elena Sagrinou. This is absolutely ready to go. First rehearsal was great, second rehearsal fantastic. There's a touch of the Lady Gaga about this. El Diablo is very similar to Replay and Fuego, albeit not quite the same. It's almost as if last year we had Running by Sandro, this deep house number. There was a lukewarm response. Then we had obviously the pandemic, and it's almost as if the Cypriot broadcaster thought, well, back to what we're really good at. And it's worth saying Cyprus has not missed a Eurovision final since 2013, when they've been involved, that is. I think 2013, which is really very impressive, and should be spoken about more. Dearie me, I'm rambling. Anyway, Elena Sagrinou is in this silver dress. It has to be said, she looks amazing on stage. She just looks absolutely sublime. She's got this mirror, she's got dancers all in red. At one point the words El Diablo are on stage and then they're up in flames. It's quite dramatic, but it all really works. It's a very strong pop effort, and this is bound to do very well. Top 10 in the final, looking very good for Cyprus once again. Is it better than Replay? In my opinion, yes. Is it better than Fuego? That's up for debate. Song 9, Norway, Fallen Angel by Tix. Huge star in his homeland, but they can't vote for him. Real name Andreas. He's a really likeable guy. Staging isn't too dissimilar from what we had at MGP a few months ago. Let's not forget he beat out fan favourites Kano on the night, which was a massive talking point. But anyway, I think more and more Eurovision fans are starting to enjoy this one now. He's got wings on his back. I don't really like the staging as a whole, but I suppose it fits in with the whole Fallen Angel theme. Plus, he's got 4 dressed in black dancers on podiums around him. I believe there's a smoke machine too. The lighting just feels quite dark still, even though this isn't really a dark song. If anything, it becomes more uplifting as it goes on. He's got that headband with his name on as well. I think he doesn't need to worry too much about public love. The juries might just find this far too plain, and it really must be said, it's a very generic track. But if anything, that makes it more accessible. People will gravitate towards it. The staging is fairly memorable too. I don't know. It's a very difficult one to say. Norway does not often miss the final. He's the only male performer in the second half as well. Song 10, Croatia, TikTok, Albina. A pure pop bop is what I've put here. Albina looks very comfortable on stage. She's in this sort of almost robotic-like outfit. She's got dancers with her, there's pyros, we've got lyrics in Croatian, which is very nice, choreography. It's all looking really, really good. A sort of pink and blue colour scheme, which seems to be the colours of choice this year, of course. I was very pleasantly surprised by the first rehearsal. The second rehearsal was looking very good too. The most modern contemporary effort from Croatia in a very long time, and if this goes through, I think a lot of people will be very happy because it is a bit of a fan favourite. I don't mind it, I don't love it, but certainly I can listen to it and enjoy it for what it is. Albina looks great, having a blast on stage. What else is there to say? Song 11, Belgium, The Wrong Place by Hooverphonic. Vastly experienced band, female lead singer, a different female lead singer from the person we had last year. Vocals are great, it has to be said. This is very atmospheric, very moody, maybe a little bit emo if you want to use that word. We've got minimal lighting. Band members are on sort of square podiums around Geika, who is the lead singer. We've got this sort of close-up image of her face, I believe it is, on the backdrop too. And yeah, minimal lighting. It all works if you ask me. It would be great to see Belgium back in the final after several years away, but the song may be viewed as all too easy to forget by the public on Tuesday night. I think the juries will appreciate this. The public maybe less so. It does give off that sort of lounge bar feel, the sort of song that plays when you're having a meal and you're not really paying attention to the music perhaps. That's how it might come across to a lot of viewers and maybe jury members as well. But I think having this in the final, it would just be a breath of fresh air, as indeed it is in this semi-final, an absolute breath of fresh air. It stands out because of how simple and low-key it is, and the atmosphere that is created on stage. I think it really does work very well. Song 12, Israel, Set Me Free, Aidan Elena. Very good young performer, very charismatic, hitting those whistle notes every single time, it has to be said. That's surely a few points in the bag. I've put here 21-year-old Aidan is a splendid singer, and it's worth checking out the song for the impressive whistle notes near the end. Set Me Free may not be as strong as Fekerli be, but it's still a cheerful pop offering. There's a neon theme to the performance. I don't really like how they've gone with the aesthetics, with Set Me Free written on the LED screen and then all of these sort of flashing neon symbols and what have you. I think it's very cluttered. We've got choreography. Not a huge fan of her outfit, but that matters very little. I mean, she sings very well, and she's got a great big smile on her face for most of the performance. Israel usually makes the final these days. I think the jury will help her go through. The public marks might be a little disappointing. Excuse me, but we wait and see. It's a very enthusiastically done performance, if you see what I mean. Romania, Song 13, Amnesia by Roxanne. Roxanne's great. She's got this slight Billie Eilish thing going on. She was wearing a baggy outfit in rehearsals. I believe she's wearing something different for tomorrow night. Amnesia is a somewhat subdued song sandwiched between two more up-tempo numbers. The studio version and music video are great, but live this is falling a tad flat for me. First time around, first rehearsal, I thought her vocals were a little bit off. I know that she was nervous and also very emotional about being able to do it. But visually, they're trying to recreate the story of the music video a little bit. But I don't know if people will really be invested or not. I think this could be even stronger visually. We've got a bit of a smoke machine. She's sort of being dragged about the stage at various points. It's all okay, but this does not scream safe qualifier to me. And in fact, in the betting odds, I believe Romania is the 11th favourite to go through now. So it's not looking terribly great moving into tomorrow night. The performance for the jury show this evening is really going to have to be spectacular. Otherwise, Romania might miss out on the final yet again. No grand final since 2017, and yodel it, it's worth saying. But Roxanne's really good. She's got a great career ahead of her. Only a few more songs to go in this very long rambling video. Azerbaijan Song 14, Matahari Effendi. We've got ethnic elements to this pop track. Effendi's in black. Her dancers are in black. There's a bit of choreography. The vocals aren't too bad. We've got this sort of teal, green and purple colour scheme. The stage feels very empty. Very empty, it must be said. I just feel as though they could have done something so much more with the performance. But the song is fine. Azerbaijan usually qualify. And I think there will be enough public love for this. Juries might be indifferent. But I think you're looking at a relatively safe qualifier here. He says, tomorrow night, we wait and see if Azerbaijan do indeed progress. Yeah, not too dissimilar from her effort last year, Cleopatra, of course. Ukraine, Goe with Shum, which means noise, Song 15. Goe, or Go-A, however you pronounce it, will once again bring their blend of folk rock / pop to the contest. This is a fast-paced, frantic song. On the backdrop, we have glittery running man figures and a Tron-like background, while the semi-transparent LED screen is also used. On the actual stage, the band members perform atop a white platform surrounded by small tree structures, with dancers holding light-up discs. Visually strong and a touch chaotic too, this performance does seem to work, and Ukraine's 100% qualification record looks to be intact moving into this Eurovision week, even if, and this is the big if here, even if jury votes, or rather jury voters, are put off by the sound, because this is very unique and it won't be to everybody's taste. If anything, some people might be put off by the fact that it sounds a bit like shouting. But, I mean, this really stands out an absolute mile, visually and sonically. I don't mind it, I don't love it. Ukraine probably going through. And then Malta. One of the big favourites to win, Je me casse by Destiny, 18 years of age, former Junior Eurovision winner, was on Britain's Got Talent, amazing vocals. Here I just think, wow, that music video and that staging, come on now. It was very similar with Chameleon 2 years ago, that music video and that staging. Come on, missed opportunities. They could have done so much more with this. What we have instead is this podium, this pink colour scheme and sort of flashing lights on the backdrop. Destiny was wearing pink in the first rehearsal, like her backing dancers who stay in pink, but she was wearing a silver dress in the second rehearsal, which I think is a better choice. This is sassy, fun, catchy, well performed on the whole, but they could have done something so much more with the staging. Maybe there's surprises in store that us Eurovision fans don't know about. It's going through, I'm sure. Is it our winner? I don't think so now. The attention is very much elsewhere. Plus, Malta has struggled so many times in the past in the public half of the results. That's where Malta's chances rest, with how the public perceive this song, and whether it's 12 points, 12 points, 12 points, or just 3 here, 4 there, the occasional 8 over there, if you see what I mean. Anyway, my final prediction. How long's this video? Oh, not too bad. So, here it is then, in a random order. How I've come to get this prediction is, rather than just doing jury ranking, public ranking, working out the average, I do have a specific ranking for the jury and the public, which will be up on my blog probably early next week. I've just done a sort of rough estimation on my blog. But what I've done is I've given each country a mark out of 100 in terms of vocals, in terms of staging and stage presence by the artist in question, what the odds are saying, the attention surrounding this song at this moment in time, how I think the jury will go, how I think the public will go, my overall thoughts on the track, and then I've worked out the average. So, qualifier number 1. This prediction will not change before tomorrow night and the video that I intend to film. Qualifier number 1 with 80.28, Russia. Russia usually go through, and this song is garnering a lot of attention now, and people are saying that it could be a surprise winner. I'm not going that way myself. I mean, the strong parts here, the stage presence, the confidence of the lead singer, and it is quite a visually arresting performance. Russia going through. Qualifier number 2 is Azerbaijan. Maybe not by a comfortable margin, but I do see this getting just enough points from the public to sneak over the line. A mark of 76.85 for Effendi. If Azerbaijan do qualify and get drawn into the first half, I think you've got to be looking maybe at a below 15th finish in the final, maybe. Whereas in the second half, it might be a slightly different story. Qualifier number 3, Lithuania. As I said earlier, it's not often we can say Lithuania is a sure qualifier, but it's looking very good this year. I have nothing else to say about the song. It's fabulous, it's fun, it's great. 85, the mark for Discotheque. Qualifier number 4 is Romania. I'm not terribly sure about this one, but I think there's just enough about it in the end. And I think Roxanne, she's almost too good to miss out, as strange as that might sound. But anyway, a mark of 73.28 for Amnesia. Really not sure about Romania. Deserves to be in the final, I think. There is a place for it, but it's going to have to be so much better than what we've seen in the rehearsal clips. No doubt about it. And if the juries hate it tonight, her chances are done for. Qualifier number 5 is Ukraine. Yes, that 100% qualification record I think will stay intact. 77.85 for Shum. As I said earlier, visually so strong. It's manic, but in a good way. And I think certainly the public will dish out many points. Maybe the juries a little less so. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Qualifier number 6 is Malta. Of course, this is going through 89.57. It could be Malta's year, I'm thinking more realistically, maybe 4th or 5th in the final. But Destiny sings so well. She's very confident about this whole experience. And yeah, she's 18 years of age and she's done so much already. Her career is just going to absolutely skyrocket after this contest. And I'm hoping tomorrow night that I really do enjoy the performance, because what I've seen so far has left me feeling a bit indifferent. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Qualifier number 7 is Croatia. Yes. Now this one's on the borderline for many. I think it's the 7th favourite in the odds at this moment in time, which I think is fair enough. Yeah, really can't fault this. Vocals good, staging good, choreography good. There's fan support for this, and I think neutrals will appreciate it as well. Could be Croatia's best result for a long time. We wait and see. Qualifier number 8, Sweden. Now, yes, I do think Sweden's going through, purely because I believe Tusse will get that jury love. Maybe not an extreme amount, but certainly more than enough to see him go through, even if the public mark is a massive disappointment. I'm hoping his performance is a lot better tomorrow. It doesn't stand out nearly enough. Even in the recap, I don't think it's going to be that memorable. But we wait and see. Qualifier number 9, Cyprus. You were probably waiting for me to say El Diablo. This is just great. Absolutely ready to go. Nothing needs to change. That first rehearsal was enough for me to think that Cyprus was going to cruise through. And barring one of the biggest shocks in Eurovision history, Elena Sagurinu will be in the final. And if she's in the second half, that's going to look very good indeed. A mark of 87.14. So, who's left? The 10th and final qualifier in my prediction is... well, it's not Australia. It's not Slovenia. It's not Belgium. It's not North Macedonia. It's Israel. Israel is my 10th qualifier. Not a personal qualifier, not at all. But again, I think, if anything, those notes at the end might play a big part, actually, in how well this song fares. I can see it in the final. I really can. I think Aiden would be quite devastated not to make it. I mean, it's all right. Her voice is the best thing about it, to be honest with you. The song is very... you know, it's not incredible, it's not really poor, it's quite so-so. So if this progresses, I doubt it will be by a very comfortable margin, but I think back to a few years ago, Imre Ziv, 2017, he was 3rd in his semi-final, and then right near the bottom in the grand final. I'm not saying something like that will happen again, but you just don't know. Better with the juries than the public, maybe. And that's it. Just to recap, and I will now do this in the actual order, you can see this on my blog as well. I think winning the semi-final, Malta, 2 Cyprus, 3 Lithuania, 4 Russia, 5 Sweden, 6 Ukraine, 7 Azerbaijan, 8 Israel, 9 Romania, 10 Croatia, and then missing out 11 Norway, 12 Belgium, 13 Ireland, 14 Australia, 15 Slovenia, 16 North Macedonia. So Malta has 89.57, North Macedonia 58.85. So quite a difference there, which you would probably expect anyway. So there it is. If you've seen my videos in the past, and I've done a few of these now, where I react to the results as they come in, I've never got 10 out of 10. Only hardcore fans probably do, year after year. I usually end up with about 8. So taking into consideration my prediction, which I've just told you about, 2 of them are probably wrong. So maybe Croatia and Romania will miss out and Norway and Belgium will be in instead. It wouldn't surprise me. And that really is it, because I need to rest my voice and finish this now rather cold cup of tea. Let me know your thoughts on anything I've mentioned in this video. Hopefully the quality's not too bad. Tomorrow, all being well, I'll be back with my reaction to the semi-final 1 results. You'll see me sitting over there on my bed feeling quite stressed. Because even though I really have nothing to be stressed about, because a lot of the songs I really do enjoy this year, so I'll be happy with anything in the final, I will feel the heat just a little bit, as I'm sure many people across Europe and Australia will. How I plan to do it is to turn the laptop. There's loads of wires everywhere, so it's really quite fiddly. The angle, it's not brilliant, but it will have to do. What matters more is the results, of course. And that will be tomorrow night, and I'll try and upload it as soon as possible after the show has finished on TV, and then there'll be a review of semi-final 1, preview of semi-final 2, and final predictions for the second semi-final on Wednesday, all being well. That's it, half an hour now. Until next time, thank you very much for watching. Hopefully the quality wasn't too bad, and it's nearly here, ladies and gentlemen. I can't wait. Take care of yourselves. See you soon. Bye for now.